Hey guys, Lisa here, and I am going to give a quick tutorial over 1920s style makeup, and it's specifically for stage work. I get a lot of actors wanting inspiration videos or help with techniques, and so I thought I'd make a short little video to kind of hopefully explain some of the more difficult steps or teach you any little tricks that you might not know, but I do. So, okay, let's get started. Trick number one is actually don't put your foundation and concealer on first, because we're going to be doing a smoky eye that's pretty iconic for the 1920s. And when you do a smoky eye, you have a lot of fallout, and the last thing you want to do is work really hard on creating a really great foundation and then messing it all up and having like smudgy fallout from whatever eyeshadow color you've chosen. I gotta get these guys out of the way first. So, when it comes to colors, the 1920s, usually for stage, I like to ask my actors to do a fairly smoky look, but you can choose a lot of colors to create that with. I have a smoky palette that has really pretty blues and purples, and of course grays, which are good, but you can also go a lot brighter because they did wear brighter colors in the 20s. So this is a really fun palette option to use. And if you have any questions about product or where to get product, I can always answer those in a later video if you like these videos, or in person if I know you. So first things first, I want to start with the eyeshadow. And to do a good smoky eye, you need a brush that has a nice tight end to it, like the brush bristles are really tight. You can also use one that's small like this. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but they're really tight. And then you do need a fluffy brush too. Those are blending brushes, whereas the tight bristled ones help you apply a really tight look. And then you want an eyeliner pencil, probably black is what I'll recommend. And okay. And you want to start off with your eyeliner and get it right up against your lash line. I have to use this little tiny mirror because I'm blind. And it doesn't have to be perfect, like it doesn't need to be a perfect line if you're worried about that technique, because I'm mostly actually dotting it on and not like actually creating a line. Because here in a second, once you get it on, like it could even be like super messy. I just did this one pretty darn messy. But, so once you get your eyeliner on, use your ring finger and smudge it upward. Most of you probably know you want to use your ring finger because it's like, it gives the lightest touch, and the skin around your eye is very, very sensitive and you don't want to pull on it too much. Oh, and I did prep my face, like I cleaned it and I have moisturizer and everything on it as well. So that's all I've done with my face so far. So I'm going to go into my smoky palette, and with my green eyes I kind of thought I would do a purple, because purple makes green eyes pop. I'm going to go in first with a black color, and I'm going to use this little tight bristled brush and go on top of the eyeliner and just brush it upwards. You're gonna dab, dab, dab. If you hear jingling, that's my dog. I'm not letting him onto my lap, and he doesn't know what to do with himself. But yeah, you just keep dotting it. Because you want right next to your eyes to be super duper dark. And I like to use the powder, because then when I come back in, what color did I say? Purple. When I come back in with a purple, and I'm using another tight bristled brush, it's just a wider set. You'll go on top of that black and then bring it up some more. And this is just pressing in the color and creating that initial shape. 1920s shapes are very, very rounded, and I know myself when I do my day-to-day makeup, I really like to create a sharp, like, cat eye look. I feel that's really flattering on me. So I have to go against every natural inclination my hand wants to do to create this circle shape. And then I bring it up a little higher, not in the inner corner, but like in the inner part of the eye. You want to bring it up a little higher, and then bring it back down, and then go ahead and tap it out under your eye. And now I am tapping out that extra color because I definitely don't want to apply any more color. And with that same brush, I'm lightly going to, this is so much darker than I thought it would be, but that's okay. For stage, it'll be great. I'm going to soften these edges a little bit. Drag that under there a little more. Okay, step 2 to blurring that line is getting like a nice transition color. I'm using this light tan, not white, but just a light tan. And I'm going on top of that again, and you blend them together, and I don't know how well you guys can see it, but like it really like blurs that harsh line that you stamped out. And then I'm trying really hard not to get too much of the dark color. Pluto, be still. Okay, so this was all the dangerous part, and I can tell, you probably can't tell from the camera, but like I have fallout, which is why I did not put on the makeup. I'm gonna brush that away with a big fluffy brush first. And so now that I have this shape created, I'm ready to get some pretty skin. First, with your foundation, whatever you yourself use. The 1920s were really fond of actually pale skin. So ladies that are white, feel free to, if you have a foundation that's a little lighter than what you normally want to wear, that's totally fine. My favorite way to apply foundation is with a damp beauty blender. I just like, for my skin texture, my skin type, and then the types of foundation I prefer to use, the beauty blender is just the best way to go. And for stage, I do like full-on contouring when I put like concealer stuff on, so I get like a really light color, and I go down and up and like really highlight the bone, highlight the nose, highlight there on top of the cupid's bow. I don't do this day to day because we don't really need it day to day. I know, unless you like it. It's a lot of work and a lot of makeup for day to day. But this already starts to highlight areas for the stage. So that's why I put on quite a bit. And use tapping motions to blend it out. Tap, 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 tap. Okay, I want to get, I have really heavy bags under my eyes, and so I kind of give it extra love. So then, for stage, you use a loose powder. This is one, it's a really great investment. It's the Airspun, and it smells like grandma's. I use it every day in my everyday makeup, but especially for theater, you get a loose translucent powder, and then you tap it in first, and focus on areas that you know you'll accumulate moisture. So for me, I accumulate a lot of moisture around my nose, and then on stage I'll start to sweat, so I tend to tap it along my hairline, and then you can I'm gonna go in, because I'm extra, I'm gonna go in with some more powder around my nose. And this is a pressed powder, so it's gonna help me again with my dark eyes, under eyes. And then we're doing 1920s, so one more extra step. You've applied foundation and everything over your eyebrows, and you'll even have already done a little bit of powder, but you want to go back in with whatever kind of concealer you have and go over your eyebrows again. Mine's gonna be so easy because I have blonde eyebrows, but you can do this with black or dark colored eyebrows, and this will help create that when it comes time to create that eyebrow shape. But you want to kind of blank out your eyebrow as much as possible. But the good thing about it being on stage is we don't have to go full like drag queen with the glue sticks or anything like that. We just want to get it as light as possible. Like, there you go, because then you're going to go back in with a really dark color. And I'm going to do that now for your eyebrows. I have an eyebrow kit, but you can use eyeshadows. I like using matte eyeshadows for my eyebrow makeup because if you're wearing wigs or you usually need to do your eyebrows darker than what you normally do them for stage, because eyebrows are what help us show our expressions and show our emotion. So it's really, really important for stage to make sure your eyebrows are well defined. Okay, so the 1920s eyebrow is like a stick, a high arched stick that goes further down your temple. It's very thin. So I'm gonna start where I want the highest point of my eyebrow to be, and then I'm gonna go down. And then go here. And just kind of create an eyebrow that's flattering. as long as you're using a nice dark color and keeping it a little thinner than what you might normally set it to. And then the other trick is to like bring it way down here. Like I have it lined up with like the center of my eye. And you can go even further down. That's kind of a character choice. Like, is your character really vampy or like a femme fatale? And yeah, you could like go really exaggerated with your eyebrow. Oh yeah. So that is a 1920s eyebrow. It's so cute. Now, just so you know, real 1920 eyebrows probably not a lot of them start where I started mine. They like could go all the way back because they would just get rid of their natural eyebrow. They'd get rid of all that hair and just kind of draw it on however they were feeling it for the day. For stage, I tend to bring in a little bit of our modern aesthetic because that's what audiences will also find more attractive. And so I do try to keep that in mind. So we've got makeup on the back of my hand. I just put my other hand in it. Oh dear. Okay. So next I am going to continue with my eye. What color? I really want to make this fun. I feel like this purple is a little like dark, and so it's not popping quite as much. So I'm going to go in with a highlight color. Oh, and I'm going to choose, it's like a silver, because silvers and grays were also really popular in the 20s. And I'm going to put it right here on the center of my eye. Actually, I'm going to go in a little lighter color. Ooh, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's real pretty. It just opens the eye up a little bit. Another thing I would do, but I didn't bring it, and it is for sure optional. If you have a white eyeliner, I would actually put it on the inner waterline of your eye because it's going to open your eye up because we're doing all this dark makeup, which is gorgeous. So these are just little steps to help open your eye back up because smoky eyes tend to like create like closed eye look. It's really romantic and sexy. But this will open it back up. Okay, I'm really happy with how this turned out. It's bold enough for stage, and for my personal aesthetic, it's very pretty up close. My favorite trick for stage makeup is taking a highlight color, and I guess I'll use this one because that's what's open and close by. So like a nice light color, like this or this, and putting it on the water duct of your eye, right there. I just think that's pretty. Ooh, this is like a rainbow color. That's so pretty. Yeah, so the overall look of the eye is done. And when I'm gonna take a black and a little angle brush, or just like a really thin brush, and I'm gonna draw on some bottom eyelashes. And with this angled brush, I just have to dot it. And it's gonna create these little Cupid doll eyelashes. And it's just like a really fun touch that helps your eyes pop at the theater. You don't have to go crazy. We're not going for like clockwork orange here. But like just that is perfect. And then next is mascara. For theater, I will always have you wear false eyelashes unless we're on a teeny tiny stage. And even then, I would still recommend like a natural eyelash set. But the stages that we perform, the stage we perform on the most is our proscenium, and so there's audience members way in the back. And so you want to exaggerate every single feature you have, which is why I always say yes to false eyelashes. I always do 2 coats of mascara too. So let that dry a second. I'm literally only doing one eye for this because I'm trying to keep this video short. But yeah, 2 coats. And with 20s, you don't have to worry about your eyelashes if they clot. That's actually a look, so I know most people who wear mascara probably won't ever let their mascara do that. But like if you get like those spider eyelashes, it looks really cool. This is where I would have you add false eyelashes, but for the sake of this video and for the sake of I forgot to bring them, we're gonna skip that. But this is where you could apply eyelashes, or you could wait till the very end and put off the inevitable. So, step, you want to finish the face, so I'm going to use a contour powder. And contour, I prefer contour powders. Some people prefer contour creams, but it's gonna bring your like shape back into your face. And this was Rimmel. This is great. And there's different colors. Another one that I really like is Wet n Wild contour palette. They have, it's split in half and it has a shadow and a highlight. And I mean, it's everything you could ask for, and it's super inexpensive. And so that's always whenever anybody asks me, especially for guys, like when they ask me my recommendation, I always say Wet n Wild's contour palette. And then for blush, for 1920s look, you're gonna apply it on the apples of your cheek. And for the sake of this stage, I will always tell you, go darker. Oh yeah. I can see it from here and I'm blind in this tiny mirror that I'm using. But yeah, super dark circles on the apple, and then you can kind of bring it up. But they focused it on the apples of their cheeks. And then another option is if you have like a highlighter that you like to use, feel free to use that. I think it picks up really beautifully on stage. If you don't have it, it's not a mandatory thing. And then last but not least are the lips. Because you're gonna, more than likely, unless you have the perfect little Cupid bow lips, you're gonna have to redo your lip shape. And I recommend you exaggerating it unless you have like really big juicy lips. And so you're gonna do your Cupid's bow in a round heart. Create like a heart on your lips. And you get here and down. And I go just below the lip line on the bottom. And then when you bring it up, bring it into the lip line. Invest in a no smudge lipstick, and invest in a natural color, a red, and then like a berry or a pink at least. For 1920s, they did a lot of berries darker colors. I grabbed this like purple because that's a fun one for stage we could totally do, but for my life I'm going to use this. I believe this was Maybelline, but it's a dark berry lip shade. And you're just gonna fill in those cute little cupid bows you made. Yes, cheeks. Oh, just saw how dark I cut my cheeks. I just go ahead and make that a little darker. It feels so lopsided. But yeah, so here's your 1920s makeup look, taught to you by Lisa. Hang on one second, let the old girl put her eyes back on. This is not a stay-on lipstick, but I'm not going on stage, so I don't have to do that. So I've got some that are too light, some that are too dark, and a couple that are just right. Oh my gosh. Pluto, be still.